Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm just a cold lady with a bulldog and a camera and too many opinions. Listen, thank you Wiggum. Thank you, you get it. It's freezing here. And I know a lot of you are like, Chelsea, you're in Florida, calm down. Like I'm laughing at you. It's negative 400 degrees Celsius. Well, I don't speak Celsius. I speak American. Also, yes, I know I'm in Florida, but hey, my body's not conditioned for this type of weather. All right, anyways. The girl bosses want your blood, all right? They want to use your own blood against you, and we need to talk about it because, dear God, what's going on? Also, if you're wondering, Chelsea, why you got truffle trees? I made truffle trees. I also made big ones. Now, if you want to see how I made all that stuff, I'm going to put it on Instagram, I think. And I was inspired by this page, the Avant-Garde, but it'll be linked below too, if I remember. Ethan knows I'm probably not going to remember, but hopefully I do. She's amazing. She's wonderful. And I'm hosting Christmas dinner this year for my family, just my side. Not Tony's side, so it's only like 14 of us, thank God, but I'm turning my backyard into Whoville, as one does. Anyways, that's not why you're here. That is not why you're here. You are here to understand, attempt to at least, why the Monat girly pops are offering to read your blood work. What? So during Monations, it was earlier this year, and I had seen a few things where they were propping up and really hyping up and talking about someone who is something called a trichologist? Trichologist? She'd be pulling them tricks out. Trichologist, listen girl, I don't know, I don't care, I don't claim to be one. However, I've seen a lot of top leaders in this company, not only like the sales reps, but then also people from the corporate side propping up this term, this title, and these specific Monat market partners, the girl bosses, the salespeople who apparently are certified in this. Hi y'all, here on my channel, we are not familiar with people who are unhinged and their unhinged opinions. And you know, and I know, it's basically the equivalent to our trashy TV. It's really entertaining. But unfortunately, for some of us, we have people like that in our personal lives, and it can be pretty hard to deal with. Many of you are familiar with my crazy Uncle Reggie. Thanks to today's sponsor, Uncle Reggie has been a little bit less crazy. And that sponsor is Ground News. Ground News is my go-to news platform developed by female former NASA engineer Harleen Kaur to give readers an easy, data-driven way to keep up with the news. The app gathers related articles from thousands of sources around the world, allowing me to easily compare how different outlets cover the exact same story, and gives context on the source of each of those publications. For instance, speaking of the algorithm gods, a recent study discovered that Twitter, also known as X, their algorithm changed in July to boost right-wing accounts. Ground News found over 20 news outlets covering this story. 50% were left-leaning, while 33% were leaning right, and then obviously the difference being center-leaning. Below that, you can see the factuality breakdown, which, of course, is my absolute favorite aspect, as well as ownership, which obviously that's very important. 50% of reporting outlets are independently owned. Like this headline from The Verge that reveals X's algorithm now loves two things: Republicans and Elon Musk. Y'all know we love independent journalism over here, and I of course do think it's important to consider the source, as I say a lot on my channel. And we should question everything and research everything. However, we don't need to put our tinfoil hat on just yet. Keep it in arm's reach, but like we don't need to put it on yet. Instead, you can go to ground.news/cc or click the link in my description box. And if you sign up through that link, you will actually receive their limited time offer of 50% off of their Vantage plan, which is the one that I use. And that gives you unlimited access to all of their amazing features. So thank you again, Ground News, for sponsoring this video and being a continued sponsor of my channel. Now back to the video. Now, you know, when I see that something's certified, I'm like, by who? Whomst? Whomst is certifying you? And what are their accreditations? What's going on here? Don't worry, we got to the bottom of it. A trichologist is a specialist who focuses on trichology. Well, no shit. The study of diseases or problems related to the hair and scalp, as well as their treatments. Trichology takes its name from the Greek word trichos, which means hair. Though trichologists are not doctors, they can advise people who are having hair-related problems, such as hair loss or scalp conditions. What does a trichologist do? Specialists working in this field help people with issues such as hair loss and hair breakage, oily scalp psoriasis. Some trichologists can also treat problems related to conditions like alopecia or trichomania. Education and training. Trichologists must get specialized training to become licensed to treat hair and scalp conditions. The process includes several steps and will vary based on the type of certification the trichologist gets. But all certifications require academic coursework, hands-on training, exams, observations, and mentorship. Training lasts from 6 months to a year or more. Although there are less well-regarded programs that promise certifications in a few weeks. Once certified through a program accredited by the state board, trichologists often join a professional organization related to the field like the International Association of Trichologists or the World Trichology Society. Now that you know what it is, let's talk about the course that the girl bosses are taking. Now, here are some people who have really been, I feel like, using this sales tactic the most. So we have Nicole P., who says that she is a certified menopause and hormone coach. Those words don't mean anything, Nicole, but cool. A hair loss specialist, and then hair restoration rooted, play on words there, in science and self-care. Hey, Nicole, what does any of that mean? Fun fact, if you want to go to her Google form, you can't. She doesn't even have that set up correctly. How are you going to trust this woman to do anything for you? And then we have someone who already has me blocked because of course she does. Then we have Dorian Marie Hare, retired corporate at 26, now helping thousands improve their hair and scalp, plus earn an online income. Hey, babe. Babe, can I call you babe? Okay, babe. Babathy. Listen, retired means cease to work. You are arguably working more now. The numbers that this woman puts out there are crazy. The numbers that all these women put out there are crazy. It's like, not to quote The Office again, but it's giving when Daryl Philbin, the king himself, put on his resume that he moved 4 billion pieces of product or paper material or something like that on his resume. So let's get back to the United States Trichology Institute. And we're going to talk about this a little bit more later, but the marketing surrounding this entire topic is wild. So the marketing, the language, stuff like that is something that we're really going to talk about today, because using phrases and titles and verbiage that makes things sound way more official and professional and way more important and credible, dare I say, than they actually are is icky and gross. And you shouldn't do that. So I will give them this. The USTI, thank God they have the S in there because, girl, we got enough UTIs going on in this household, all right? Their website, their marketing, their branding, all of that looks very medical or like med spa-y, definitely making them look more official, in my opinion. From an outside perspective and from someone who isn't in the industry of social media, content creation, but then also having that background of medical sales as well. Just by looking at their website, I'm like, what is this? What's going on here? So just like almost everything that these girl bosses do, if you look at it for more than not even 30 minutes, more than 10 minutes or have any background experience of anything, and you're not wearing those rose-colored glasses, then you're going to see like, oh, this isn't looking as like official as they're wanting it to. Like, this is kind of embarrassing. But of course, it's just something to, in my opinion, give them more credibility and make their sales pitch more impressive, better, more trustworthy, I guess. USTI offers courses, you guessed it, girl boss courses, so that you can become a hair loss practitioner, an associate trichologist, or a certified trichologist. Now, how much do these things cost? Let's see. Even better question, how long do they take? Why take a 6-month course at your local community college or somewhere that's actually accredited, highly regarded, or even regarded? I'll settle for that at this point. Why do any of that? Why take the time when you can just throw money at something and take a 1-day course or a 2-day course? Or hey, just a 3-day course, some weekend clinicals. Oh, and don't worry, they give you your own white jacket to wear. Might be in the conference room of the Hojo down the street, but hey, here we are. You can take pictures and use these for your marketing to make it look like you're qualified to do anything. Take my blood work. So these courses go anywhere from the 1-day one being about $600, the 2-day course to become a practitioner? No. Which is live, virtual, and online class. What do you mean live, virtual? Those are not synonyms. Those don't go together. Live, virtual, is it a live class or is it a virtual class? So do you mean like it's like a live stream, like someone's going to be on there talking to you and you can, ask them questions? Or is it like dual? What's We got dueling piano situation going on here. What's going on? Have y'all ever been to one of those things? My sister went to one last year and I really want to go. That one is about $2,000. And then associate trichologist class. That's a 3-day course. Also a dueling piano situation. And that's almost $3,000. And then we have certified trichologist class. And those are clinicals, which you got to travel to that. And that's over $3,000. So of course, like I said, this is attempting to give themselves more credibility in regards to their sales pitch and what they are selling you overall. If someone has these credentials, even if it is, you're going to be more inclined to listen to what they have to say, right? As I always say, consider the source. Well, if you think the source is credible, then you're probably going to listen to them. However, in my opinion, it's all just fluff. For instance, let's take into account one of the people who is promoting this a lot, and that would be my best friend and yours, everyone's favorite alleged Monat racist, Mandy Sue. So she's insane, in my opinion. I did a full video on her because, dear God, it doesn't end. And she had dropped so many ranks in Monat, hilarious, but was still so brainwashed by them and was like still being propped up by them. And it was just so weird. And she had that extra credibility of being a hairstylist. You can still be a hairstylist. You can be a hairstylist and still be a dumb. And honestly, in my opinion, when someone is using these types of credentials or knowledge to then sell you a pyramid scheme product, that cancels out the first part, right? So Mandy Sue was also someone who encouraging people to, listen to her more because she took a UTI course. Now, mostly all from what I've seen, I could be wrong. Hey, it's all my own opinion. Calm down. Mostly all of these people that I've seen who are promoting or rather using these faux credentials to increase the credibility of their sales pitch, scam pitch, they are affiliated with the UTI course, and that burns. Little urinary tract joke there. Grade A comedy. I know that's why you come here. I found this on the girl, what's her name? Dorian. So we have here that if you use Dorian's code that you get this amount off of the course, whatever she says that she is affiliated with them. And why else would she have specific codes like with her, like personalized, like with her name in it, if she wasn't actually like affiliated with them and getting a commission off of that and getting money off of that? And again, I could be wrong. However, typically with marketing in general, that's how that works. You would have a specific code so that they can track that and then, of course, pay you out however much money for referring people. Now, if these people have a large downline, this is just a great example, again, in my opinion, of them using their downline to make money in other ways other than just recruiting people into their pyramid scheme, right? That's also messed up. It's like when these girls use their downline to get like a small business started or like their clothing line or their digital marketing course or their, one-on-one social media branding coaching sessions or things like that. Your downline is not your built-in customer base. Like that's not how that works. They're already slaves or volunteers rather in your downline. And that's just, it's so messed up to do that. Now, there definitely could be accredited or reputable places that these people are getting their certifications from. However, I personally don't think that that's the case with this place, especially because these courses are, most of them are online and then most of them are so quick. And one thing that I was comparing it to when looking over all of this was it was really sounding like knowledge that you would obtain from like your orientation training at like a new job when you're a salesperson, because these people are salespeople. That's what they are, right? For instance, I know far too much about minimally invasive spinal surgery because that's something that I sold for a while and then I continued to work for that company like 5 to 6 years after that. I know far too much about that. Y'all want to talk about spondylolisthesis? Want me to take a look over your MRI report and see what's going on? I get real boned up for looking over some imaging of spines, let me tell you. You got any numbness or tingling going down the side of your leg, down into your toes? What you got going on in that L5S1 area, huh? Let's talk about these slippery discs you got. Degenerative disc disease? What's going on? Facet disease? Pinched nerve? I don't know. Let's talk about it. And you might be thinking, well, Chelsea, you're not a medical professional. You shouldn't be doing that. Just having the knowledge of something and like talking about it here and there, whatever, that's fine. And obviously in certain sales positions, you are going to know more about something and give someone like a complimentary consultation, whatever. And obviously when you do that, you are explaining like, hey, I'm not a doctor. Like we need to at least get you past this first little hump. And then and then you talk to the doctor and then the doctor, go whatever, right? But with what these people are doing, in my opinion, I feel like they're propping themselves up and trying to give themselves more credibility than they even have, obviously, or rather allowed to give you these types of suggestions and recommendations for like psoriasis and like that's not okay. They're skipping the whole like professional part. It's going from salesperson to just selling you whatever it is for this medical issue rather than like salesperson consultation type thing, and then, you know, doctor, and then the sale of whatever. So just like almost everything else that is awarded in money, it's non-transferable, babe. It doesn't mean anything in the real world. Remember that one time they had a graduation? They had graduation caps. That's so embarrassing. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot about that. So all these like certifications, all these like random things, it literally doesn't matter. And this, in my opinion, is along the same lines. Trichology is not a regulated medical field in the United States. So while the UTI does provide certifications and courses, there isn't a standard accreditation process for these types of institutions. So these women can say all day, or these people can say all day long that they are approved, certified, whatever, but it's like, okay, but by who? If I just make up an institution, which that doesn't mean anything. You can name a company and have it have institution in the name. Like I worked for a place called Laser Spine Institute, and some people thought that it was a school. It was not. It was a medical provider. Like, this is insane. So I could create a organization, a business entity, whatever, and call it the Florida Spine Wellness Institute, give out courses. And when someone completes the course, they are Florida Spine Wellness, whatever, Institute certified. What does that mean? Nothing. It means nothing. So again, same thing here, in my opinion. And maybe are they learning things of value? Hey, maybe, sure. Possibly. Does that then give them the right to use that information to then sell Monat hair care? Probably not. I would be very interested to know if they are, you know, when they're looking over all this blood work and everything, if they're looking over all of this and if there's any time that they don't suggest Monat products as a treatment plan. This reminds me of when the Monat reps used to say that they were Hair Loss Institute or something like that. I'll find it. Hair Loss Institute certified or approved or something like that. And National Hair Loss Institute, is that what it was? I think that's what it was. And people were like, what the does that even mean? Well, guess what, babe? That's not like a regulatory entity, organization, anything like that. That's a med spa. Like Ideal Image, it's a med spa. And they had, I think, 3 locations. And one of the salespeople who worked at one of those locations was a Monat rep. And I called them and, you know, included it in a video. It's insane. So again, using this type of language to make something sound way more important than it is. And we see this all over Instagram. For instance, we have certified wellness coach. What does that even mean? That may sound important, but there's no standardized accreditation or licensing for this role at all. This certification could be from an unregulated or dubious organization, like we've already talked about. Holistic health practitioner. The word practitioner makes it sound like they are a medical professional. Again, it's not regulated or a licensed medical title in most places and doesn't require formal medical training at all. Nutritional consultant. Unlike a licensed dietitian, this title doesn't guarantee any accredited training at all. Doctor of natural medicine. That sounds like it's a medical doctor, but it is not the equivalent to an MD or DO. In some cases, it's a self-assigned or unregulated credential. Board certified trichologist. While trichology is a legitimate field, it is not regulated, and board certified might come from a non-accredited board. And the title can be very misleading since trichologists are not medical professionals. Certified detox specialist. There's no recognized medical or scientific foundation for detox treatments outside of addiction medicine. And then we have my favorites, like visionary entrepreneur. Entrepreneur means scammer. That's all it means. Or unemployed. And it's a self-given title that may not reflect actual achievements or expertise at all. Certified social media expert. Again, these certifications often come from any online courses that take minimal effort and don't necessarily reflect any substantial knowledge or skill. Chief happiness officer. That's offensive. Let's move on. Brand ambassador. Typically, it's just someone who is in a promotional role or a sales role, and that's it. Growth hacker. It's just marketing. It's just a trendy term for marketing. Also, typically a lot of people who will have certified social media expert or social media growth coach or things like that will have less than 10,000 followers. Probably less than 5,000 real followers. So how exactly are you a growth hacker or promoting something that you can help other people do when you can't even do it yourself? Let's keep in mind that the term specialist or expert is not regulated at all. A lot of these people can just make it up. Absolutely. And a lot of times they do. For instance, most of these women that we just mentioned are absolutely violating their own terms and service, their own quality assurance guidelines and things like that Monat has set out previously and said multiple times and reiterated multiple times over the last 7 years. And then also FTC guidelines, the agreement that Monat signed with the Florida Attorney General's office regarding business claims and medical claims and product claims and things like that. For instance, this girl Dorian, who says that she literally is cosplaying as a doctor at this point, in my opinion, she has said on her website that the products are clinically proven. No, they're not. Guess what? You can't say that. You can say clinically tested. They're not clinically proven, so you can't say that. However, she has that stated multiple times on her website. By the time we put up this video, she might have taken those parts down, but I doubt it. We're not even going to touch on Mandy Sue because this video is going to be a billion minutes long if we do that. However, the lady Nicole, I can't pronounce her last name, I don't care to, but she has so much misinformation on her account. Absolutely so much. I did message her about her false claims with a lot of her content. I did not get a response. I'm pretty sure it actually said that like she doesn't accept DMs at all. So that was interesting. So for transparency's sake, here is the message that I sent her on June 11th. I said, "Hi, Nicole, I saw your video about the Visionary Founders Pool, and it looks like quite a bit of misinformation that you shared. If a market partner, blah, 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 whatever, I go through it." She has said multiple times that this company, Monat, is a multi-billion-dollar company. Ma'am, what are you talking about? No, it is not. Monat has never been a multi-billion-dollar company. So what I said still stands about everything that this lady was saying about the Visionary Founders shares. I know it's not about like the trichotomy, my God, hair certification. But still, it just goes to show, like, even when they're pointed out, like, things are pointed out to them, like, hey, this is 100% false. Stop saying this. And, like, also, you can't say that. Not only wrong, but, like, the company's been told to stop saying that. They've told you to stop saying that. The FTC, the literal government has told you to stop saying that. What are you doing? She's going over the math in this post. And as we've said many times, like, whenever they're going over the math for this, they're always missing, like, one step. And then at any equation, if you're missing one step, like, it's gonna be wrong. And a lot of times they'll be like, well, you can't lie. Like, the math doesn't lie. If you do the math wrong, yeah. If the equation isn't even correct, then yeah, you can lie. Like if someone tells me that I'm wrong about something and then specifically shows me like well-sourced information, like, hey, this is actually wrong, I don't want to be wrong. It's just brainwashing. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm trying to justify it. Anyway, so this woman forever has been posting misinformation, and so have multiple of the other people who are really pushing this UTI Institute accreditation or lack of accreditation. And it's gross. So please don't let these women steal your blood. It might not be necessarily like illegal for them to do this, but obviously for them to like draw your blood, yes, they're not qualified to do that. But for them to just look over your blood work, no, especially if you're consenting to it. But it's gross for them to look over whatever medical information of yours and then to suggest a treatment plan when they are not a doctor, especially if they're not using like the right disclaimers or, you know, making that super clear and using people's lack of understanding in the language that they're using to their advantage to then further manipulate people. It's just really gross and I hate it a lot. Also, hey, cutting in real quick, just another example of how you can get basically everything that these people are selling you for free on the internet, especially since these are not like actual like medical accredited types of courses and things like that. This girl, Dorian Marie Hair, is selling a hair growth cycle poster that she's made a little mock-up for on her Stan store for $8. It's an instant download. I did Google Lens or reverse image search. Guess what? You can just print it out yourself. Just save the image and just print it out in your home. Why? $8? Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm sure there's so many more examples of this all over her website. All right. So be on the lookout for Monat scammers trying to steal your blood. They're vampires, I guess. I don't know. It's crazy, man. I hate that they're trying to cosplay, in my opinion, as like medical professionals to attempt to give themselves more credibility. It's disgusting. And it's being basically promoted or okayed by the company themselves, which I'm not surprised. All right. If you are subscribed, your butt looks good. If you're not, that thing is a pancake. And anyways, you should subscribe and it'll look good. Who needs a BBL when you have that subscribe button? Anyways, I'll see you in my next video. I'm very tired. Goodbye.